What is the American film market and why does it matter for your film or screenplay? So, AFM, the American film market, is happening right now in Santa Monica. And this is a time when a bunch of producers, financiers are getting together, having lots of meetings with distributors worldwide to sell their projects. A lot of the projects are completed films. So they're films that have already been shot and they are available to be released worldwide. And some of them are pre sales. These are projects that are being sold before the movie ever gets made. And a lot of those or some of those will never get made, but they'll do sales. And so why sell this? What does that mean? They're distributing it worldwide. So obviously the big movies, Avengers, Disney, Universal, some of the big projects, they release their movies worldwide. They are the ones who are talking to theaters across the world. They have operations, in many countries and self-release their films in all these territories. However, there are smaller studios and obviously independent producers that don't have those capabilities. They aren't out there talking to the international theater chains and trying to figure out how to get their movies in the theaters or sell it for VOD, etc. So when that happens, what they're going to do is they're going to sell their movie or license their movie for specific territories. And so what that means is you are going to meet a distributor who is based in Germany, and you're going to go, all right, my project's budget was $25 million. So the rights to the film in Germany is going to be $500,000. And the German distributor is going to pay that to the financier, the creator of the film, the producers. And in return, they're going to have the rights to license it in theaters, to sell it on video on demand, sell it for streaming, etc., in their specific territory. Now, there's usually what's called an MG, a minimum guarantee, and that is money straight to the pockets of the producers. And then there is a windfall. So what that means is after a certain amount of income in that territory, there is a split that the two are going to have. So obviously there's expenses, there's all those other things that the distributors in those territories are going to have. And then after a certain amount in success, they're going to split some kind of back end. So that is going to be happening in lots of different territories. So if you've already shot your film and you're literally selling the rights to your project in those territories, that's a way you can recoup your money. Now, what happens if it's pre-sales? Your movie hasn't been made yet, but you need to raise the financing. So that's how you are going to try to get it. You're going to say, hey, I have this actor, this script, this director, this is the budget, this is the project, this is what we're getting made. So the movie, as I said, hasn't been made yet, and you are trying to raise money for your project. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to all these territories and say, "This is my project. This is all the particulars. This is what I've got. What would you pay for the rights for that?" And Germany might go, "We can commit to $500,000, right?" And so you're going to go to all those territories and get those commitments ahead of time. Now, when you do that, you can then kind of bank that, or it's a nothing I guess is essentially guaranteed. But you're going to go and you're going to a bank or someone else that can give you a loan, and you're going to say, "Hey, look, I have raised the budget's $25 million. I've raised $5 million of equity. I have commitments to sell this movie for $20 million. Can I get a loan for 18 million, 17 million against that 20 million commitments?" And there'll be, obviously a rate that you'll have to pay on that. But you are able to use those sales in order to kind of get the money that you need in order to make that movie. So a lot of independent movies are made this way. You're kind of selling your package, you're getting some kind of guarantee. Sometimes you don't actually need to go to all the territories and sell it. You go to like a foreign sales agent that says, "Look, I think I could make $500,000 in Germany." And if they're a respectable enough company, the banks that work with entertainment, and entertainment loans, that's essentially the same thing as kind of getting the commitment from the foreign distributors. They know, well, if they're saying they can get 500, you can probably get 500. So why does this matter to you? Why is this something that is relevant? If your project, or I mean in general, most of these projects are worldwide. Now there are specific movies that might be just strength domestically, right? Certain projects, if it's a U.S. history or something that is just very relevant to the culture in the United States, that's going to over-index here as opposed to worldwide. But so many projects these days need to be worldwide in order to recoup what you make. And certainly, if your project is being financed or put together independently, those foreign sales are so crucial to the success of your movie that you need to put a movie together that can work in that environment, in that worldwide. And that's why certain genres tend to do well in the independent marketplace, is because those are the movies that can do well overseas. And it's certainly also when we talk about the cast that you put together, right? A huge component of these sales is who is in your movie and which of the actors are meaningful in these international territories. So that is something to be considered as you are putting your project together. Is this a movie that can be successful worldwide?